All right, you guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today is another good day. Today we're gonna be killing it. We're gonna be getting some gains. We're gonna learn some things. We're gonna execute properly. This exercise is based on pulling, and there's gonna be a lot of lat biased movements, and I'm gonna explain each of them along the way. So let's get to it. It's time. You've waited long enough. All right, so I know you're one of those people that when you work out, you don't feel the muscle that you're supposed to be targeting, and you think it's okay and you think it's gonna turn on, and that's not the case at all. If you're wasting reps like that, this is definitely for you. It's important to know what muscle you're working out, where it originates and where it inserts. This is important because you need to know the direction of the muscle fibers so that you can properly target them. For example, with your lats, it starts on your lumbar spine and thoracic spine and then inserts onto the top of your humerus. Therefore, as your arm is moving, those fibers are changing and rotating with you. And I'm gonna tell you two different ways that most of us target our lats. One is through shoulder flexion and extension, and the other way is through shoulder abduction and adduction. Now, these movements are normally seen if you're gonna be performing any rowing movements or any type of pulling movements like that. I'm gonna show you different grips, different tempos, and different things to do so that you can really work the lats and try to isolate it, fatigue it, and then of course grow it. Let's get it. So like always, what we're gonna do is warm up first, and we're gonna open up our thoracic spine. And specifically the muscle that we're gonna be targeting with this are the lats, of course. So you can do this with a bar, without a bar, but what you need is a platform in front of you. If you don't have a platform, you can easily set up in a cage and just use a bar. So the main thing that's gonna happen is that your elbows are gonna be resting on a surface, and that's what you're gonna use to have leverage. So now I'll show you how to perform the movement. So you want to set yourself up properly so that you're able to sink your thoracic spine down. And watch what happens here. As I go down, my lats elongate, and with that, they stretch. You can hold this, or you can become dynamic and come up and come down. Both work, and both will be stretching your lats. You know I got you. The next thing on the list is loosening up our shoulders, so we'll do that as well as opening our spine. Most people are afraid to move, which I don't really understand why. The more that you're able to move, the more ranges of motion that you're able to access, the stronger that your body will be. The skeleton is a strong structure, and it's also meant to move. Performing movements in your daily life will become hard. Performing movements that give you a little struggle will become hard. You want your body to be able to move. You want fluidity, you want stability, you want strength. Don't limit yourself. You heard it here first. I got a question. How much work and effort are y'all putting into y'all gym fits? Like, are you just throwing things together, or are you really trying to color coordinate? Are you trying to mix and match brands? I hope not that, but like, what's the thought process there? Are you meticulous or what? Me personally, I'm always dripped out in one brand, and I always gotta match. Something's gonna match. The sneakers, the socks, the pants, the shirt, maybe the whole thing. Even like today. And I only ask this because I've been getting comments about things that I wear in my videos. So now I wanna know, what do y'all do when y'all go to the gym? Let me know below. All right, right now we're gonna execute some pull-ups. I'm gonna show you two different ways to do them so that I can show you how to emphasize shoulder flexion and extension, and then shoulder adduction and abduction. I like to do pull-ups at the beginning of my workout when I have the most energy, because it's very difficult to lift your body weight, and most people can't even do it. So for me to do 3 sets of 10, I'm gonna need all the energy that I have, especially if when I get on machines, I'm gonna be lifting more than my body weight. And of course, changing the tempo and just doing all these other things that's gonna take up way too much ATP and energy. I'm gonna be using wraps just so I don't burn my grip out, but you can do it with or without wraps. It doesn't matter. A pull-up's a pull-up. So I'm a bit too tall for this bar, but this is where the lighting is the best on this floor, so I'm gonna show you here. To emphasize shoulder flexion and extension, we need to have our arms close to our ears. To emphasize abduction and adduction, we're gonna do a wide grip instead. And if you can't do pull-ups, I'll show you what you can do so that you can get these done as well. Now, if you can't do bodyweight pull-ups on your own, what you can do is get on a stool, jump up, and then slowly descend down. What that'll do is it'll work on the eccentric. The eccentric is the elongation of the muscle. When you jump up, the lats are gonna be concentrically contracted, and as you go down, you're gonna feel that squeeze as you extend, and extend all the way. And don't think this is cheating. Don't think that there's anything wrong with this. Science shows us that you get the most muscle activation and most gains when you're performing eccentric contractions. So if you wanna build your lats, this is the safest way to do it and the most effective way until you can properly control yourself going up and down. Okay, so here's your anatomy lesson for today. If your shoulder's by your side, this is anatomical position, and moving your arm up like this towards your ear is shoulder flexion. Moving it back towards your pocket is shoulder extension. Now, when I perform this row, watch how that movement occurs. As I'm going forward with the weight, it's bringing me into shoulder flexion. And as I come backward, I have to pull it back towards my pocket, which is bringing me into shoulder extension. Performing this type of row, you're gonna target multiple muscles, but you're gonna target your lat fibers differently and still work within the patterns of the muscle fibers and get the most gains. All right, so here's your next lesson from Nandisi. If you start from here, which is also anatomical position, and you bring your arms up by your ears, when you pull them down to your side like this is adduction. When they go up, it is abduction. This is another way that you can target the fibers of your lats. Make sure as you do it, you squeeze both ways on the concentric and on the eccentric as well. Let's get it. So if you're having difficulty understanding what shoulder flexion and extension is, this is the perfect exercise to show that to you. It's a vertical pulling exercise, and it's gonna target your lats from flexion into extension. These are known as lat pull-throughs. You load the weight up, grab the rope, step back until tension is about to begin. And that is when you hinge your hips. And from here, you can adjust yourself and step back a little further. The further you step, the more flexion that my shoulder is going into. And that means the more that my lat is gonna be stretched for this movement. So I want maximum stretch on this and have the longest possible arc for my range of motion so I can execute my lat fully. So now, as you see, I'm fully into shoulder flexion, and all I need to do is extend my shoulders, let them flex and extend. Don't bend the elbows. Keep them slightly flexed and move the shoulder only. Use the lats only for this movement. I'm in the posing room right now, just practicing a couple poses. But that wraps up the video. I gave you some exercises that incorporate vertical and horizontal pulling, both to target the lat fibers. Give them a try. Let me know if you do something different, if you feel it. If you don't feel it, let me know what works for you, and let's talk about it. These gains are for everybody. I'm here to educate, spread the good word of fitness, and make sure that you get these gains safely and make it fun at the same time, all right? So until next time, in Nandisi we trust.